On the rocky terrain of Zephyra, runes started to appear. The purple and violet glow of arcane magic immediately covered him, as his mind knew exactly where it wanted to go. There was only one place where he could have escaped the night. The muttering of the incantation came to him as a poem. As soon as the last stanza was recited, the fresh air of the Ashari village changed into the odor of a closed space. Even if he opened his eyes, there was only darkness around him. He immediately regretted the decision, but felt like there was no other place that would have him in the state he was in. His hand magically opened two locks, a physical one, and one he would have wanted to be able to close in the same heartbeat. The doors opened and a simple, undecorated room stood before him. The morning sun didn't know that it wouldn't be able to light up this chamber completely ever again. But at least it was warm. He imagined Vax sitting in the same room, noticing the same bed and door, and all the empty spaces. He discarded his traveling cloak on the bed and sat next to it. His body was so tired, and the few drops of alcohol he had while talking to Keyleth reminded him that he was flesh and bone. Flesh could be anesthetized, but what was he going to do about the constant pleas of his bones? He took his head in his palms and closed his burning eyes. Perhaps it was a mistake.
Whoever gets you will be a very lucky man,
said Vax on that last morning they shared in Whitestone. He began recalling the words again with ease. Vax sounded like he wanted to conclude the conversation, but didn't get up to walk away as he always did. He seemed to have no intention of leaving.
Once you start dancing, you have to continue. If you remember the beginning, it is only fair that you remember the end.
It was a morning so much different than this, a morning whose meaning changed nothing, but whose meaning has now been changed forever. The last talk, the last hour. Gilmore felt tears gathering in the cups of his hands, and he let them fall, staining the blithesome rings with grief.
Lucky. The man that gets me will be very lucky. I know.
I love you.
I know. No, I will not say those words. I will not, Vax. Go to Keyleth. I do not want to give in. You have no intention of leaving, and I have no intention of taking advantage of the state you're in. I could do it if I didn't care for you. I'd give in to my selfishness and ruin you. Go!
Somehow, in their conversation, all those thoughts just translated to,
I need to get my morning situated.
Reality could hear a sob coming from the edge of the bed. The way Vax got up to leave, being ushered outside the house, made Gilmore stop him by placing his hand on his shoulder. There were a million things Gilmore could have said. Vax stopped. Vax turned to him to listen. Vax let Gilmore lead the dance in that moment. Realization. The dance won't ever end. Gilmore didn't predict the departure, though.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Another sob in the woods of Gilmore's soul echoed into reality. He must find the edge of the woods. He had to pull himself together. He had to find solace. He got up from the bed and went straight to the door. His feet marched forward, down the stairs, into the living room. Over there, on the couch she was, sipping some hot morning tea. She must have sensed his presence, because she turned around bewildered. Her shaking hand left the ring of the cup to its longing. Her arms extended towards him, and he caught up speed when going round the couch. He placed himself in her arms.
Shaun.
Mother.
He rested his lavish curls on her chest.
He is dead, Mother.
He broke in her arms, repeating the same words over and over again. Sorrin Geddmore walked in carrying a bucket of water, only to see his son as he hadn't seen him since he was a child. He couldn't discern what the boy was saying, but he overheard his wife, Opaisa, simply muttering,
Oh, my own child.
Sorrin did not interfere. He placed the bucket near the table and just sat down, watching them. While she cradled him without question, Shaun raised his eyes towards hers and encountered the spectacles framing the beautiful, familiar face.
There will not be a next time. I told him there will be a next time. There will not be a next time.
He closed his eyes, and her caresses calmed him as he sat his head on her lap.
Oh, my glorious rune child. Pain is not timeless. Sleep will soothe it.
She felt her son's body relaxing and drifting away with each breath. She looked at Sorrin, and he took a white sheet from the drawer and covered Shaun's body. When he bent over him, he whispered in his wife's ear.
What happened?
She didn't stop caressing the beautiful locks while whispering back to her husband.
I think someone he loved very dearly passed away.
Sorrin nodded and sat in the opposite armchair. They stood and watched their son as he slept, while the heat of Shaun Dahl's sun allowed itself entrance inside the house.